In 2013, Mitch Weiss decided to take a path any lesser man wouldn't dare travel. He now finds himself training to become the Midwest's most knowledgeable sports broadcaster. Focusing on Big Ten and Detroit sports teams, he decided to create a dwelling where his training would go undisturbed, a cave. More specifically, the man cave.
No girls allowed.
Mitch enlisted a team of highly sophisticated cavemen into his service to assist him in his tireless search for, well, sports stuff. When they're not sleeping, eating, or, oh yeah, they're analyzing sports as best a caveman can. You have now entered the man cave.
At 5'11", 190 pounds, Milton Marcus Lafayette O'Quinn III has the daunting task of being the president and only member of the Joey Harrington fan club. When not watching sports, he enjoys candlelit baths while listening to his favorite album, Big Willie Style. Daniel D-Mac McDonald comes in at 6'1", 200 pounds and hails from the inner city of Bloomfield Hills. He enjoys enjoyable things, sleeps when he's tired, and hopes that one day Ryan Gosling will get a tattoo of Sparty on his chest.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mitch.
And this is the Man Cave.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Mitch's Man Cave. I'm your host, Mitch Weiss, and I'm down here with two of the cavemen, Milton and D-Mac. Jason won't be able to join us tonight as something came up, but we will carry on. It's getting kind of cold outside, guys. Little too early for my liking, but
middle of November, come on. We had a good run. Just take it for what it is. We live in Michigan. We know it's coming.
I know it's coming. I don't remember it being this cold this early, at least last year. I feel like last year we had a pretty mild winter.
Well, I think it was warm last week we were we got a day in the 70s. So now it's just kind of like you just fell off a cliff. It wasn't a nice gradual recession.
Well, this weekend is supposed to be 50s. That's what they're saying now.
It better be, because I got to rake these leaves before this Michigan snow hits.
Yeah. I did the rake or the leaves last week, but my tree wasn't done pooping leaves, so I have to go back for round 2.
Pooping?
Yeah, like
I think of it more as like dandruff.
Dandruff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tree dandruff.
Tomato.
Yeah, poop, dandruff.
I
whatever.
like poop. You like dandruff.
I mean, I don't mind a little dandruff on my shoulder, but if you're putting poop on my shoulder, we're gonna have some problems.
Get that poop off my shoulder. But it's nice in Royal Oak though, because we just sweep the leaves right onto the shoulder of the shoulder, right onto the road, and they had this cool garbage truck looking machine that comes by and just sucks it up.
I gotta mow my lawn one last time anyway, so I'm just gonna bag the leaves in the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get those leaves up, because if you let the snow fall on them, then your grass is ruined for the spring.
Yeah, but we all rent, so maybe our owners should stop being terrible owners.
True.
But if there's grass in the field, do you still play ball?
When do you not play ball when there's grass in the field?
All right.
What about if it's? I mean, my lawn is kind of out of control. I need to mow it and bag it. Is that still straight?
That's completely fine.
There you go, Milt. That's why we love you. Mitch, let's take this back to why we came down here.
Oh, we're not here to talk about manscaping?
What?
We might.
Well, now that it's cold out, I think I need a video game for the winter.
Agreed. A little hibernation thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a winter activity, because when it gets cold outside, I just tend to bundle up and my activity.
Video game, girlfriend, whatever you prefer.
Movie, TV show, sprees, basically anything inside. Because my going out definitely takes a hit in the cold months.
Yeah.
I do a little hibernation. I don't know though. I don't know if there's any TV shows that I'm going to be getting into. I feel like I've either tried or I'm already watching every show that there is to offer.
Maybe pick up a book.
I've
There
been
you go.
reading. I have been reading.
There you go.
And I definitely do read more in the winter than I do in the summer. I've been reading the Lincoln Lawyer series by Michael Connolly. Did you guys ever see that movie with Matthew McConaughey?
I did. I was just about to ask you
Yeah.
about that.
I never saw the movie, but that's the first book. I think I'm on the third one now. It's pretty good.
It's a decent movie.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But anyways, we've got a number of sports topics that we're going to touch on tonight, including Michigan State beating Kentucky in the 1-2 early season matchup in college basketball. The Lions beat the Bears on a not last second, but on a 2-point conversion failure or stop by the Lions. And then after that game, Brandon Marshall went on to rip the city of Detroit. So we will give our feelings on that. And then the Pistons are enduring a pretty bad losing streak right now. They've lost 4 in a row. And after starting 2-1 and looking good, they're starting to look a little questionable. But we'll get our thoughts on that a little later in the show. But let's start off with the Michigan State-Kentucky game on Tuesday. Michigan State obviously came in as the number 2 ranked team in the country, and they have a very experienced and veteran team. I guess those are the same thing. But and Kentucky is a very young team, as most of you probably know. They have 6 highly touted freshmen in the rotation, and 4 of them are in the starting lineup. The 5th member is a sophomore, and then the 2 other freshmen come off the bench. So it was an interesting dynamic of youth versus veterans. And before the game started, a lot of people on Facebook, I went through the news feed, and a lot of people were asking, who do you have tonight, Michigan State or Kentucky? And for the ones that I responded to, I said, I've got Michigan State tonight. I've got Kentucky in March. And I think that after watching the game, I'm pretty confident in that statement, because I likened that game on Tuesday to a boxing match. That's how I saw it. Michigan State came out and delivered a first-round knockdown. Came out of the gates 10-0. Kentucky's young freshmen looked like deer in the headlights, which is exactly what I expected. Their transition defense was horrible. They were trying to drive into the lane on 3 opponents and just getting the ball swiped and turning it over, throwing bad passes. And then they settled down, and actually after that 10-0 start, they actually won the rest of the game. Obviously, they didn't have enough to pull out the victory, but I thought for them it was very encouraging, and I was very impressed with them. I mean, they had 17 turnovers, and they shot 56% from the free throw line, and they're all freshmen or sophomores. And to hang in there and come back from an 18-point deficit against a team like Michigan State, I think speaks volumes of their talent level. And they're only going to get better as the season goes on and as they gel, because, like I said, they're young, and the more they play together, the better they'll get as a team. So, D-Mac, where'd you watch the game?
I watched it in the comfort of my home. It was kind of I think it was kind of how Michigan fans approached watching the state game this year. You're hoping for the best, expecting the worst. But I mean, the outcome, the first half,
Wait a minute, back up a sec. You thought that Michigan State wasn't going to win that game?
No, I thought it was going to be a coin toss, like it ended up being.
Oh.
The thing with you just don't want to, and it was Tuesday. I'm a working man,
Oh yeah, I actually watched the game at work. Don't tell my boss.
There you go. But no, it was I liked the start. Michigan State came out, looked real good. The second half was just hard to watch. I was in a group chat with all the Sparties, all my buddies. So, we were just going back and forth, just saying how ridiculous it was. I think we were into double free throws within halfway through the second half. So after that, it just it was a coin toss, really.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not Michigan State. Kentucky shot 36 free throws, made only 20 of them.
Right.
But there's a new rule in the NCAA this year for basketball. It's a new hand checking and defensive rule, and you can't use arm bars and you can't hand check and you can't lay your hands on a guy as he's running by you anymore. That used to be allowed, but they're implementing the NBA rules.
Right.
And I think that it's going to negatively affect Michigan State because they're built on tough, hard-nosed defense and rebounding. And Tom Izzo is actually one of the coaches that spoke out about the rule, his displeasure about it. So it'll be interesting to see because that's kind of the staple of their program there is that defense. So we'll see how it affects them.
Yeah, and LeBron James spoke out about that as well. He thinks that the NCAA should implement 6 fouls instead of 5 for the foul-out rule. He wants the kids to be able to play that strong, solid defense without, because NBA's defense is so touchy-feely and
Right.
they don't really play hard D.
And that's a good point because if they are going to go to this hand-checking rule where there's going to be more fouls called, you should give the kids at least one more foul to play with. Even though the college game is what, 8 minutes shorter than the pro game, 48 to 40.
Right.
But
Yeah,
give that one more foul.
I think you can go both ways. I agree with you. Kentucky's going to look really good in March just
Yeah.
based off of how poorly they played. And they'll obviously get more cohesive. But
Oh, yeah. And Julius Randle, man, he's a beast.
yeah, he was. And then who was we got a boy from Rochester Hills on that squad.
Yeah, James Young.
So I was a little disheartened to hear that.
Yeah.
And the announcements coming out and not playing for Michigan or Michigan State. But, I mean, Michigan State will get better, too. I think, our Costello's got to improve. He's kind of the weak link right now, which is expected. He's the only one that's not returning. I like
Yeah.
Valentine a lot. He showed up in the tournament last year.
Yeah, I like Valentine too. He's a good all-around player.
Yeah, and Trice, I'm a big fan. And Harris obviously is just
Yeah, he played really well. I like
he's
what I
gonna
saw
be a
from him.
stud. It's gonna be hard to keep. I think that whole team is gone after this year.
Oh, they're all gone.
Yeah,
Harris will be gone. Payne and Appling obviously graduate.
right.
Everyone else will be back, but those are your
I think Trice and Valentine will be back.
yeah. Well, Trice doesn't have any pro potential. He'll be back.
Right.
Payne's nice, man. For his height, he's got
Yeah.
a little athleticism to that, and I
Yeah.
think
Well, I like
he's going to be a good NBA player.
Dawson. If Dawson could be consistent every game, he would be real solid. But he's
He's a role player.
Yeah,
I think he's
exactly.
pretty much cemented himself as a role player.
Yeah, he does some. He had 2 good baskets last
Yeah.
game that were like really needed when we were tied or up by 2 or
Right.
like that.
And that's not a knock on him.
Right.
Every team needs their role players, and he's perfect. He's athletic, he's strong, and he plays good defense, and he rebounds.
Right.
You need guys like that on your team. Not everybody's going to score 20 points a game. But I remember what we talked about last episode, though, the loss of Sims. I think that we saw Michigan State's front line isn't going to be as
You mean Knicks?
– or Knicks, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Knicks. They don't have that presence.
Well, they don't have Payne is much softer.
Exactly.
Much just quieter guy. He'll show a little outrage every once in a while, but it's real constricted.
Yeah.
Knicks would just let it all out, and he's
right.
a big boy.
And he's big, and he's
Yeah.
intimidating.
Right.
And obviously Costello, I don't think anyone's afraid of him.
Yeah. No, I mean, he was Mr. Basketball, but he's got to grow. I mean, Izzo picked him for a reason. I
Yeah.
believe in him for that reason alone, but he's definitely got to grow.
This has got to be the season for Michigan State, though,
It does.
because like you said earlier, with all those guys leaving,
Yeah.
and Izzo swung and missed on a couple high-profile recruits that he went head-to-head against with, the Dukes and Kentuckys and Kansases, and he missed. So next year's class coming in isn't as highly touted as his classes usually are.
Well, this reminds me of 2004 Pistons. We have a couple players who stand out, but no one's superstar level.
Yeah.
But we have a team.
Yeah, it's a good blend. That's a
So,
great blend.
Yeah,
And,
it reminds me of them, and
yeah.
they took it all that year.
Appling showed out very well in the game, too. He may be shutting me up a little bit.
Well, and that's the other thing too. If Appling is going to be the leading point scorer for Michigan State, don't expect a blowout win. But when he's your third or fourth point scorer and he's putting up, 15 to 20, like then you can expect State. That's when State is going to be a force to reckon with, which they already are. But when you see Appling scoring the most points, don't expect a big win.
No.
Don't expect anyone really coming up.
I thought that his 8 assist to 3 turnover ratio was phenomenal, because that's what's been missing from his game is that floor leadership ability. And I'm of the belief that great teams have to have a great floor-leading point guard. I mean, if you look at last year's national championship, you had Trey Burke and Peyton Siva.
Yeah.
The year before, I can't remember who Kentucky's point guard was, but he got drafted. But Kansas had Tyshawn Taylor, who's another floor leader. So
Who was the IU point guard last year? I really like
Yogi Ferrell.
So
Yeah.
Appling kind of played the other day, remind me of him.
Yeah.
Just super quick, super control the ball, unreal.
I'm excited for you.
He
Yogi this
looked
year.
like that.
And the tempo. I like Appling always looking to push the floor and
Yeah.
Yeah,
get out in the
absolutely.
break, but it's under control at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, like the
With-
Yogi style.
Yeah,
It's exactly like he
'Cause
played.
only 3 turnovers for as fast and
Yeah.
as much as he tries to do out there. That's pretty good.
Well, they jumped all over Kentucky in the transition game, and I expected that because learning defense, especially transition defense at the college level, is one of the biggest adjustments players have to make coming from the high school level. And you saw numerous times the kid from Rochester, James Young,
Yeah.
he would shoot a shot or someone else would shoot a shot, and instead of backtracking, he would attack the ball, and Michigan State would have 3-on-1s and
Right.
3-on-0s.
Well, what was the fast break points? I
think
think
it was
State had
20-0
yeah,
or
I was
something
gonna
like
say
that.
it was
Wow.
22 to 2 or 4.
Yeah,
But
it was a 20-point difference for sure.
Yep.
But I thought that Kentucky did a better job of containing that in the second half. But they did a lot of improving in the second half. A lot of things improved. But I was impressed by Julius Randle too. He's a man amongst boys.
He's a beast.
And he's only 18 years old. He's probably one of the youngest guys on the court. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then the other game that night, did you guys get a chance to watch any of the Duke-Kansas game?
I did. There are some studs
Yeah.
on those 2 squads right there.
I think that we saw the top 3 players in the country last night, and they're all freshmen.
Yeah.
Wiggins, Randall, and Jabari Parker. Man, am I glad that the little angry leprechaun up in East Lansing didn't get Jabari Parker. He is
Oh,
good.
man.
That would have been
He is
rowdy.
That would have been
Unreal.
so rowdy.
That would have been unfair.
Jabari Parker, baby.
Dickie V.
Dickie
Oh,
V.
man. What do you think of Dickie V? Are you?
I think he's explosive. I think he's a primetime player.
Yeah, he's.
I love Dick. He
yeah,
is
he's
college
great.
basketball.
If you don't like Dick, it just.
I never just said I didn't.
Oh
like
no,
him.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general. I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
Especially like girls who barely watch the game or
Oh
like
yeah.
Oh my
just
God.
throw in their 2 cents. You're like, babe, you don't really know what you just said.
No, they don't know. My mom and my bubby hate him. They're just like, he's got the most annoying voice.
Oh, I eat it up.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Well, he's so money all the time. His
Uh,
transition into topics and
Oh
and
yeah.
I love he'll go off on a rant out of nowhere, so I can relate to him on that. But
yeah, and his passion
he's-
for the game and his energy that he still has at that age is
Mhm.
impressive. I hope I still have that kind of energy when I'm his age. That's pretty phenomenal. But
you think he'd be a good Viagra spokesman,
yeah,
just with that energy and like, you gotta try this,
he
baby.
could be the spokesman for anything.
Yeah, really.
Who's that guy that does that spray that you put on leaks and it, the guy looks like Tim the Tool Man, not Tim the Tool
Oh,
Man.
I know a
his
guy.
buddy.
He did like
Al
OxyClean too
Borglum?
and all those.
Yeah, yeah,
I forget his name, but you know who we're
yeah.
talking
That
about.
could be Dickie V.
Dude, he died though. The guy that promoted OxyClean.
Oh yeah, he died. I'm thinking of
Yeah.
a different guy. The new guy. He's the new guy.
Yeah, no, I know.
He's got the beard, and I can't think of what his name is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But after watching those 2 games, I know that 4 1 seeds never get to the Final Four, but I think that those 4 teams are probably the 1 seeds. You got Michigan State #1 out of the Big Ten, Kentucky out of the SEC, Duke out of the ACC, and Kansas out of the Big 12. So it could be a potential Final Four, at least Final Four favorites right there.
I
And
could see Kentucky having to sit a player because of grades.
You think?
Just calling that right now.
But even still,
Come semester wise, you get into March Madness, you got a guy who's I don't know, you get
I don't know. I
you
think
get that many freshmen of that high talent that got too big of an ego on their shoulders. You're gonna get stuff. You're gonna get some random. I mean, look at Kentucky last year.
Yeah.
What happened to them? They lost the first round of the NIT tournament.
oh yeah.
Like
but
what is that?
Noel tore his ACL though; he was out.
I understand that,
But
but
they weren't
that's-
good even when he was playing.
Sure, I mean, but for them to go from, I don't like how they're ranked #1. For them to go from irrelevant to #1 because of the signing of some McDonald All
Yeah.
Stars. I mean, those kids are studs, but
No, it was a
Let's be
hype train.
honest.
It was a total hype train by ESPN.
right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Calipari and his relationship with Uncle Wes had
Sure.
some influence on that #1 ranking.
Well, I think NCAA basketball's trying to be something that they've never been, and the fact that you have to go to college for 1 year to play in the NBA is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge for NCAA basketball, its fans, and what kind of fan base it's going to bring to them. Because, I mean, if you can't just jump ship and go right to the NBA, you're going to have some real raw. And that was Kentucky. All I have to sum that up is just raw talent.
Yeah.
And like you said, deer in the headlights, raw talent mixed together was kind of comical. But like you said, in March, man, that's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for me to pick another team than them come March. I mean, they're stacked. Every position, 1 through 5 in their starting lineup. They got guys off the bench who would start on most teams in the country. And talent, usually wins out. That's usually what.
It's just wild to me that good of talent, 5 top 10 recruits go to the same school.
Yeah.
Because what the coaches, the coaches got a system obviously that is I'll get you to the league in 1 year. But for you not to go and shine on another team is, I think you're just lowering your value.
They want to win and they want to get to the league in 1 year.
Right.
Because the NBA guys, the scouts and the GMs, I don't really think they look at the numbers per se that they put up in college. They kind of just look at their measurables and whether or not they can shoot and whether or not they're coachable, and that's kind of where their lofty
But those
rankings
guys on
get
the
from.
those guys on the border, those are, the numbers are everything to them. Guys going later in the draft or free agency or whatever.
But the fact that you are on Kentucky probably gives your draft stock a little bit of a boost.
I mean, if you're starting on Kentucky, you're probably
going to the league.
Drafted
You're going to the league
next year.
What do you think about that rule, though? Going back to the college rule where you have to go to college for at least 1 year.
I mean, I like it, Milt.
I'm wondering, what was the reason they made the rule in the first place? What was like the motive?
The high school to NBA percent of successful percent of guys making it out of high school was really bad, and I think it was a money grab. They figure if these kids are McDonald's All-Americans and they're going straight to the league and then flaming out, we might as well stick them in school for a year and generate some money for the NCAA.
I think that too, and hopefully they're actually getting some value out of their education. I know the NFL started doing like financial classes for the new recruits and sending them into shows where presentations where Pac-Man Jones would speak about how messed up he's been over the years. But
sure.
These guys need to learn. They should just be, if they're going to school for 1 year, they should literally be taking business courses.
Yeah.
They don't need a liberal arts degree. They need some
money
sound
management.
Exactly. Just they're about to be millionaires. They need to realize
contract
that it's going
law,
to change their life.
real estate stuff.
Sure. Or intro to math. I don't know where these guys are at though. I mean,
Who knows?
Some of these guys have known they're going to be an NBA guy or wanted to be since middle school, and they've just blown off school. I mean, that's just
right. I mean, who knows what's going on behind closed doors as far as their grades? Because I don't know about you. Did you have any classes with athletes when you were at Michigan State?
Oh yeah, I remember Teague was sitting next to me, the running back for State.
Yeah. Because I was in the.
Duckett was in my. I was a freshman. Duckett was a senior. He was in one of my labs.
In my major, we had a ton of athletes because it was one of the easier majors.
Right.
This was after I switched from sports management to recreation management, and something even at Ohio at a mid-major MAC football level, there had to have been something going on, because these guys didn't do anything in class.
Right.
I mean, they showed up.
Well, they have at least at State you have mandatory.
They have study
tutoring
halls.
hours.
Yeah, they have study halls and stuff. But I mean, as far as in-class participation and paying attention, I mean, these guys came in and slept. They didn't ever participate.
Yeah.
Some of them did. I don't want to generalize and say everybody was like that. There were some who were actually good students, but I don't even. Yeah, if you're going into your college career already knowing that you're a one and done.
Yeah.
What is the motive to go to class?
Right.
But
I think
I'm more from the stance. I don't like the rule. I like that they have to go to college. I think that they should do something similar to the college football rule, where you have to be 3 years removed from high school. I'd say that they say for 2 years, just because it's bad for college basketball. I think because you've got these hot names that come in and then they're gone. It's like 1 minute I'm here, 1 minute I'm gone. And the allure of college basketball and college sports used to be, you get these guys and you watch them develop through their career for 4 years, and then they move on, and you kind of you build a relationship with them. Whereas these one and done guys, I mean, Michigan hasn't had one, so I can't speak from experience, but the relationship between a one and done player and someone who goes all 4 years is totally different.
Well, the problem with that is if you put a system in place like that, you're gonna get your Miami Heats. You're going to get your, and then this is what happened. Because of this rule, Calipari found a little loophole, and he somehow made it work to his advantage because you don't just get that team unless you have that rule in place because 2 or 3 of those guys would have already been in the league,
right. Well, there can be a lot of things done to make it a smooth transition. If the NBA, I think that the NBA should also develop their minor league system. The D League is good.
Well, the minor league is just Europe. That's just European basketball.
You go to Europe.
That's really what it is.
But if the D League became a bigger league, if each team had their own individual affiliate instead of sharing one with a couple teams, and these players were able to go to the D League instead of having to try and make a 12-man roster, 15-man roster, I think that more guys would be willing to stay in school and take the risk of being in that D League developmental stage.
I don't think basketball has that fan base to support that, and I don't think you have 12 men on a roster, 15, whereas baseball, football, you got big rosters, or hockey even. You have one guy go down, you need you have 20 guys on your team still. It's just a bigger pool of players. There's more resources because of that as well, and I don't know. What's the numbers? Is NBA? Isn't that one of the? That's like out of the 4 major sports in America. Well, it's the hardest, but isn't it have the least fans? Because you got hockey, baseball, football.
Oh, no.
I feel like they all have more fans than NBA.
No. The NFL is number 1, and I'm pretty sure NBA is number 2. NHL is dead last.
You think basketball beats baseball?
I think that
America's favorite pastime.
That's close.
That's bold.
It's close. It's definitely close.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more than baseball though, or hockey. I'm sorry.
Right. I wouldn't be. Yeah. I mean that sounds right.
What if they made it so you had the choice? You can either go to the league or go play professionally in Europe or whatever, right out of high school. Or if you decide to go the college route, you have to stay in college for 2 years, at least 2 years.
Well, you don't like the rule, and now you're adding another year. I mean, I don't get adding another year. I like the fact that you have to do an intermediary step to get to, you're not just going and like you said, it's just they're setting themselves up for failure. No, these kids think they're Kobe or LeBron. Those guys obviously are one in a million, and these guys, they have their heads in the clouds because they just won 50 games in a row at their high school level.
Right. I was just saying, the second year is because I want to see some more continuity in the sport in college basketball, because you have these stars that are here one day and gone the next. I think it would be better for the game if, say, like Andrew Wiggins was going to be at Kansas for 2 years instead of just 1 year. Then you can ride that hype train for a little bit longer.
But then the players have, and on their side, their end goal, if they're good enough and they know they're good enough to play NBA and they play a second year of college basketball and they get hurt in that second year, I mean, for them, they want to protect themselves. I bet you'd get a prima donna sitting his second year somehow and being like, oh, well, if I have to go to school, I'm not going to play because I don't want to get hurt and I'm about to make $1 million. I don't want to, ruin my career because I twist my ankle.
We'll go to the pros right out of high school then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't. Oh, you're saying give them the option?
Yeah, give them the option. And they can right now. You just can't do it in the NBA. Brandon Jennings, the Pistons point guard, didn't go to college. He went and played in Europe for a year and got drafted the next year.
Right.
I'm surprised more people haven't done that because you get paid pretty well over there.
Yeah, you do. I mean, depending what country and your talent level, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
remember that contract that Italian team offered Kobe a few years ago? I think it was 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
They offered him a ton of money.
Yep.
And then they also offered him a villa right on the Mediterranean and, and cars and stuff.
Was it China who tried to grab? Who did China try and grab?
I think China tried to grab
like
Dwight. I think it was Dwight. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah, because they have that the whole Yao Ming connection now with Houston. But it'll be interesting to see what happens because I think that rule has been talked about over the last few years.
It's interesting. And Mark Emmert's got a big hand in it. He is pro school through and through.
Right.
Which is good. I like how he protects the kids and really just lets them know that, hey, 1 in a million what is it? 1 out of every
It's
1,000 are going to go to the pro level. The
More
rest of you are
bigger odds than that.
right. Because I'm not even including the lesser sports. Excuse me for saying lesser, but the sports that bring in no income to the university.
I don't think it's just on the NCAA's hand though, because a lot of it is the NBA too. Because they have to actually allow the kids to come. They have to agree to allow them to come if they're going to. And I think that the NBA gets a ton of money and attention because of the one-and-done players in college, and everyone's anticipating where they're going to go in the upcoming draft because it's already a foregone conclusion that they're entering.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it's a rule that'll be reevaluated in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
and then
there's a new commissioner coming on, too,
Yeah.
next year. So we'll see what kind of changes he makes. But let's move on. We'll go to the Lions. They beat the Bears 21-19 in Chicago. Swept the Bears this season, winning both games, and now they sit atop the NFC North Division standings. And the big play in the game was obviously the Nick Fairley stop on the 2-point conversion that Chicago went for to tie the game. And he had 2 stops. The first one got negated because of a penalty, so they ran it again, and he absolutely just blew up the offensive line and stuffed the running back and then did a little fat man dance, which is always fun to watch. But I think that play not only is going to be a season-defining play, but much like that Stafford sneak in the Cowboys game, the game before, I think it could be a franchise-changing play because now we've had 2 games in a row where the old Lions would have blown both of those plays and come away with losses, but they were successful and they won both games, and it's just a completely different feeling. And I really think that that's going to be a franchise tone setters, having a dominant run defense and a gunslinging offense. And I think Detroit's here. I'm starting to get on the hype train. A lot of hype trains going on tonight in Mitch's Man Cave.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking by a division, stance, you got to keep in mind you got Minnesota, who's Minnesota. You got Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. You got Cutler in and out. So I think Cutler's going to sit at least a week or 2 just because of you. I mean, right when they said he was starting, I kind of got a little excited, a little selfish of me, but you kind of know he's going to get hurt. And then I would rather have Cutler play half the game and then McCown like it happened. Because if you get either of them,
no, McCown didn't come in until the very last drive.
That's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying. If you get either of those guys playing a full game, they're gonna be able to click better. Because he came in right at that
the last drive.
Yeah, and then he had to do that and do a 2-point.
Right.
I mean, he just doesn't have the follow through to do that.
But he did a lot better than Cutler did
in that one drive.
Yeah. Because Cutler couldn't even set his feet. You could just tell his groin or his ankle was really messing up because his balls were sailing. There were hitch routes that were wide open for first downs that he was missing. But McCown came in there and almost gave us a scare here in Detroit.
Yeah. I've got a couple opinions about Jay Cutler playing in that game, and one's about him and one's about Bears head coach Mark Trestman. Trestman came out after the game and said that he probably should have pulled Cutler earlier than he did and put McCown in because Cutler obviously, like Milt said, wasn't able to get anything on his throws. And so some of the fault has to go on Trestman, but how much of the blame can you place on Cutler too? At what point do you go to your coach and say, hey, coach, I'm not able to help the team out right now. Put McCown in, because I know that Cutler's the leader of that team and he's a tough guy and he wants to prove himself. But if you're hurting your team and you think that your backup's going to give your team a better opportunity to win, you got to go to the coach and say, Coach, I'm done. You got to put McCown in.
I think that goes back to that playoff game
With Scherzer?
No, with Cutler.
Oh.
Like a year or 2 ago, he kind of got shaken up.
Right,
and told
I
his
remember
coach,
talking about now. Yeah.
I'm going to sit out, and people were saying, he should have stayed in the game,
Right.
grunted it out. So I think this was kind of his way of trying to make up for that and saying, hey, I'm tough enough. I can play through injury. The media bashed me for sitting out when the team needed me. So
Right. Maybe that was in the back of his head.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to leave you when your fans are calling you a bitch. But the thing before the game that really stuck out with me was Steve Young coming on, because here's a guy who's been injured. He's been concussed a few times, and he was pretty animated. He was just like he's talking directly to Cutler
Yeah.
via the video camera to us, the public, saying, Cutler, please do not play if you're not ready. You need to realize that your team is, if you are healthy or you need to sit 2 games, you're going to make the playoffs. So don't be thinking about November. Be thinking about February.
Right.
When your team is going to need you then. McCown's not going to lead you to a Super Bowl, especially with your defense hurting like it is. Cutler has the ability to do that. And with Steve Young pleading, that was just like, I was kind of laughing, chuckling, but that's what it was. Steve Young is just a guy who knows exactly what he's talking about. He's been there before, and Cutler should have been a professional and realized that today wasn't his day.
Right. And it's a thin line to walk, but between the two of them, Trestman and Cutler, one of them should have said, either you're done or I'm done. But after the game, Brandon,
hindsight's 2020.
yeah, hindsight is 2020. But after the game, Chicago Bears wide receiver Brandon Marshall went on a little rant dissing the city of Detroit, and a lot of people came out after the comments and told him that was unfair of him to say, and he probably shouldn't have said it. A couple of the Lions players, I saw Jerome Bettis, who's a native Detroiter, rip Marshall for saying it, and this is gonna hit home here too, because it's the old little brother thing. Marshall called the Lions the little brother, and he said Detroit is just a little city, and they should go and worry about fixing their financial problems.
Yeah, it was in bad taste.
It was
financial
totally in
problems
bad
currently.
taste.
Well, Marshall's borderline incompetent. He's probably not an intellectual. So
He's bipolar.
for him to come out and say that, to me, you kind of chuckle, because he doesn't understand. Okay, you want a little lesson in Detroit, Marshall? It's the city moved north. The city has not shrunk. We're still at about 4 million, and we've moved north of 9 Mile. So to say that the city, it is in financial ruins because it was based on the tax system where you need to pay 2 million people need to pay taxes to support that infrastructure. We're now at 700,000 because everybody moved north.
Right.
So go ahead and write that down, Marshall. But also, he can say whatever he wants as long as he keeps putting up fantasy points for my team.
Yeah, hey,
I
me
don't
too.
really care what he says.
I like the best response I heard was from Lions offensive guard Rob Sims, and he kind of just shrugged it off, and he said, I'm not going to get involved with what he said. All I know is we beat them twice in a row, and he just left it at that. And I thought that was money.
Yeah, Reggie Bush said every little brother has to grow up someday, when the Lions have grown up, and they're the kings of the. Basically, he was saying they're the kings of the NFC North. Bears had their chance.
Well, he better back his talk up if he's going to be making claims like that, though.
Well, I kind of direct quote Reggie just said. Every little brother grows
You're
up.
ad-libbing a little bit,
And
huh?
then, I just kind of elaborate on what my man Reggie really wanted to say.
So do you think that the Lions are the king of the NFC North, Milt?
I think the Lions aren't going to lose another game until the playoffs.
What would be an interesting fight in real
They're
life?
about to win out. Okay, I saw the schedule. It's a joke.
We do have a
Wow.
very easy schedule.
Joke.
Well, let's be modest and approach this in a humble way. But what would be a good fight in real life is a bear versus a lion, because they're like a black bear, which is the bitch of the bear family.
Yeah.
You got
Right.
Kodiak, brown, grizzly, like black bear. I'll take on whatever. You put a lion, like an African lion,
No, it's over.
because North
over.
American lions are extinct. And I'm not talking about a cougar, a puma, or one of those little bitch lions. I'm talking about an
Or an
African
Ohio
lion.
Bobcat.
There you go. Yeah, let's get out of here. But yeah, I'd like to see a lion versus a bear in real life. But PETA would be all over that.
We should. There used to be this show. I forgot what it's called, but they would pit two animals from predators from different parts of the world
it's like
together.
electronic or computer.
Yeah, they did all the
It's so
science
weak.
behind their bite strength and
Yeah.
speed and stuff like that, and then they simulated it.
That's so weak, though. It's like simulating 2 football teams any given Sunday, because it's got to
Oh,
happen
yeah.
in real life. You never know who's gonna trip, fall, and break an ankle and
Right.
leave their neck exposed for 2 seconds.
Exactly. And as soon as that bear leaves its neck exposed, that lion's jumping up and gashing it.
That lion's gonna have fun with that bear. The bear is strong and powerful, but the lion's too quick. He's gonna
Too
jump
quick.
over the lion and
Yeah.
then just take him out from the back. That's a fact. So we won. Anyways, Lions win
Go Lions.
again.
So the Pistons are on a 4-game losing streak on the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, they got up to a 2-1 start. They were looking hot, and now they've lost 4 in a row. The good thing is they've lost to the teams that their losses have all come to teams that they were supposed to lose to. They were the underdogs in all those games, and they've beaten the teams that they were favored in. So
Well, I mean that just shows you that they're kind of predictable, and a team that can only beat the teams they're supposed to and lose to the teams they're supposed to, just
yeah, well that's kind of where I think we see this team is a 500 team. They're going to lose to the better teams and beat the worst teams.
Right.
So there are some issues though, and the lack of chemistry is starting to be exposed a little bit. The new pieces so far, and Brandon Jennings, Josh Smith, and then I guess you could say Chauncey Billups, they're not fitting together real well as of yet. It's still too early to hit the panic button, but my finger's definitely inching closer. I'm just really shocked at the defense. The defense has been horrible, and I really thought that was going to be a strength with the size and the versatility of our front court with Smith and Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond. And then Jennings gets a lot of steals. He's averaging close to 3 steals a game. I think Chauncey's a weak link on defense just because he can't move anymore with these NBA shooting guards. But the defense, they're giving up over 100 points a game. It's not acceptable. You can't win games doing that.
Pistons used to not give up 80 points.
Right.
For how many games? We
got
got
like 7 in a row of under 70 points.
We need Darko back.
Bring back Darko.
If you bring back Darko, I'm not guarding him. He's a beast.
What-
Yeah.
What's his life story right now?
He retired, but he's got a ring
And Mills.
and a lot of money.
You never know. He could have blown that. Where is he from?
Serbia or something.
I'll show you how to spend $1 million in Serbia real quick.
How would you do that?
D-Mac in Serbia.
We'll talk. We'll talk about it off air.
Oh, okay.
I don't want Papa Weiss hearing any of that.
But I don't know. Something's got to happen. They're getting mixed up. I'm hoping to see the rookie Kentavious Caldwell-Pope get in there. I'm surprised that he hasn't been playing more as of yet because he's a 3-point shooter, which we don't have, and he's great defensively. Rodney Stuckey needs to go.
He's just
I'm
trying
sick
to
of him.
build his trade quality.
He can't shoot, and he doesn't play defense.
He just drives.
He just
hard.
drives hard, and sometimes he picks up fouls. And most times he just throws up garbage layups.
Rodney, I'm so lucky, Stuckey.
Yeah, I think last game he was 5 for 18 or something like that. It's just not going to work for this team, especially when you have Brandon Jennings and Josh Smith hoisting up half-court shots every other possession.
He's trying to get that big Italy contract.
Yeah.
Live on that water.
What about Tatome? He's not getting much PT, is he?
He was hurt in the beginning of the season, and he played a little bit in the last couple games, but I haven't really seen anything from him yet.
I see Cheeks. He's considering line changes after the latest loss.
He should. There's
Which he
definitely
should,
a chemistry issue. You can tell when they're playing. They don't really. Their half-court sets are horrible.
Oh, it's awful. It's
Yeah.
standing around. It's like ISO plays,
Yeah.
basic pick and like we do this in the gym, just like
Right.
playing pickup.
Over at the YMCA.
Yeah.
Someone was telling me about the YMCA the other day. They came into my fitness or my Lifetime, and they were like, "Oh man, this is way better than the Y." But
Yeah. A little more,
Eyeballed
little
it
more
for a while.
expensive.
a little more expensive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you guys got anything else to share with the listeners out there?
I would like to express my displeasure with my Detroit Red Wings
Okay.
as of right now
Sure.
because this is unacceptable. We've lost 4 in a row now, and we always go into overtime, and we lose in the shootout. Or
Yeah, we
lose with,
cannot win.
we just
in
lose
overtime.
in the wackest ways. It's like
I saw Pavel
Come on.
enjoying himself at Starbucks the other day, just kind of hanging out. And some guy was hilarious because I was still ordering, and I'm looking to my left, and Pavel's just kind of chilling. He's got his sunglasses on, obviously, because he's better than everyone.
Oh yeah.
Well, literally, he is.
He
No, I'm
is.
just kidding.
No.
But
he is.
but this guy this older guy kept looking over at him. It was just hilarious, and like he wanted Pavel to make eye contact with him, but he wouldn't, and he kept looking back and forth, and then finally like Pavel sensed him, and he's just like, and he looks over slowly, and then the guy's like, and like lit up and just went, started talking to Pavel. Pavel was just shaking his head. I didn't hear what was said, but he's just smiling, shaking his head, and then he got his coffee, and he's like, okay. and the guy was just you could tell the guy's week had been made.
Oh yeah,
He
for
was
sure.
stoked.
My week would.
Pablo's been seen at the lodge a few times.
Yep.
A couple Pablo's sightings at the lodge out there in
Oh,
Kigo.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
We love Pablo out here.
He's a star, man. He's
There's-
just hitting up all different places.
That might as well be a Red Wings bar. I've been there. The only time I go there is if there's a crew of kids going
Yeah.
to watch the Red Wings game.
Oh yeah, that was our spot when everyone still lived in that area, but now everyone's either down here or out of town. So I miss the lodge. Good times at the lodge.
Big. That's where I watched the Michigan State game. There were a lot of Spartans in there. It's a rowdy atmosphere. Every time there's a good play, you heard cheers and claps.
That's
And
what we
every
do.
time there's a knucklehead play, you heard the boos.
The
That's
Boobers.
what's up.
So it was nice.
Thursday.
Yeah. I got to give a shout out to Nikki at Lockhart's. I ate there today after work with,
Little barbecue.
with Clyde. Little barbecue action.
Solid.
She overheard me talking about the show, and she asked that I give her a shout out. So
Ooh, what's this lady's name?
her name is Nikki. She waits on me frequently when I go there.
Well, thank you, Nikki. You've been taking care of Mitch. He looks great. He sounds great, and we want to give a shout out to you because you made that all possible. So thank you to Nikki at Lockhart's. Mitch looks forward to his next visit, and me and Milt might even join him. So
Yeah.
looking forward to meeting you, Nikki.
Definitely. We might bless you with our presence.
I did a
Ooh.
double dose. I had my my sandwich, my barbecue chicken sandwich, but I was still hungry after, so I ordered some wings. They have the best smoked wings. They're so good. Yeah, sounds good, right? I did the day before. I made 2 stops at the brewery in the same day. The Royal
Wow.
Oak Brewery. Yeah, I stopped by for happy hour after class. Normally on Mondays and Wednesdays, that's my routine. I'll stop by there, have a beer, and do some homework. Or on Wednesdays, I'll type up our script for the show. And then my dad's a big beer fanatic. Shout out to Steve-O. And I've been trying to get him to come down here to test out the beer and see what he thinks.
Yeah.
And my mom was at a dinner event or something last night, so he hit me up on my celly and said, let's get some burgers and beer. And I said, why don't you take this opportunity to come on down to the Royal Oak Brewery? And he accepted, so
Nice.
I couldn't turn it down.
Do you like it that much?
Oh, yeah, that's my spot.
Really?
That's my go-to spot.
Yeah, I mean in the area. In terms of Michigan and being real spoiled with breweries and all that, I mean, you got to go to Hopcat in Grand Rapids. They have a new one in
Yeah.
East Lansing. Bell's Brewery in Bel Air, Michigan, which is right outside of Traverse City, is so money. That's where Shorts is.
Yeah, I want to go there. I love Shorts and I love Bell's. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not saying that the brewery's beer is like top of the line, but
Right.
just it's on my street
Sure.
and
It's local business.
I'm
Got to support it.
Yeah, I'm comfortable there. I know I have 2 things on the menu that I get every single time.
Yeah.
I get either the barbecue chicken pizza or the Santa Fe chicken salad. But the happy hour menu actually is good. They have these mini quesadillas for $3. I got 2 beers and a mini quesadilla for $10.
Yeah.
So I
It's
mean,
a good deal.
the happy hour deal is not bad. It's not bad. Oh, I want to get your guys' opinion on this. I kind of talked to Milt the other day about it. I cracked the screen on my phone. I was
Get an iPhone.
I was texting my
I'm
mom.
sick of seeing green text from you.
I was texting my. Is that what shows up on your phone since I don't have an iPhone? Is it
Yeah,
green
just
text?
well, it says like pour on top of
No,
the green.
it's just
and then-
green. If it's an iPhone, it's blue.
It says pour on it.
Just
Dude,
kidding.
it's the same-
Samsung's
it's the
a
same
joke,
price.
dude.
Is that a
Come on.
flip phone?
No, man.
Oh no,
It's a Samsung Galaxy S3.
I didn't know
Get your s-
Samsung's
Get
made
it
phone.
together.
Yeah. Well,
It's cool,
anyways,
man.
I was peeing and I was texting my mom at the same time, and I fumbled the phone and dropped it.
Ooh.
And shattered my screen. So I have a couple options. I did take out an insurance policy when I got the phone, so I can pay $100 and I can get a brand new phone. Same one. I don't get the S4. It's another S3. Or
Sounds like a shitty insurance policy.
yeah, right. Like why can't
All cell phone insurance policies are poo. I hear. Like
But-
you pay every month, but when something goes wrong, you still got to pay $100 plus.
but why can't I just pay $40 and just get a replacement screen? You
Oh.
know.
Yeah, that's
But-
true.
Or what I can do is I can get a replacement screen for around the same price, maybe a little bit cheaper, like $10 or $20 cheaper. But that way I won't have to go through
Well-
and update everything on the new phone.
You can go to like a local shop where they actually just fix cell phones.
Yeah,
You know, they
well,
buy
I recommended
Milt
one
did
to
it.
him.
Yeah.
Because to fix my 4S iPhone, it was $70.
right.
But I sent my sister there. She has an S3 as well.
Yeah.
And since the phone is so huge, it was 95 plus tax.
So it's 100 anyways.
So it's
Yeah.
100 for each. So I can get the new phone.
Might as well get a new one. I mean, you don't know what else internally is wrong with the
True.
phone. You've had it for a long time, so just
It's just such
transfer
a pain
the-
in the ass to get all the
nah.
download all my stuff again. And
Oh yeah, the apps.
yeah, all my
You guys
apps
can
and-
download apps on those things.
Yes, man.
It's impressive,
Dude.
dude.
Are you an Xbox or a PlayStation guy, D-Mac?
I read books and work.
Do you drink scotch?
I drink red wine and whiskey.
Do you smoke cigars?
I do occasionally when the occasion calls for it.
Nice. Do you guys have any New Year's plans yet? I know it's a little premature, but
Trying to find a woman first.
Yeah,
gotta
no
get
plans
gotta
yet.
get that kiss.
Cereal. Not trying to get some random nonsense in Royal Oak.
Yeah, you never know what that's gonna lead to.
But Ferndale. Nah.
Ferndale, that would be an adventure. You
Oh,
definitely
man.
don't know what you're
Oh,
gonna end up with
dear.
if you're going down to Ferndale.
Oh, another question. What are you guys doing day before Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving Eve, the biggest bar night of the year.
I'll be in Vero Beach playing with my nephew on the ocean side.
Unreal.
Yeah, it'll be solid.
Family man.
Family time.
All right, you have to kill one, bang one, and marry one. Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes,
Oh.
Miley Cyrus.
Mary Miley, obviously. Her earning is not done. Amanda Bynes is a no one, Nickelodeon All-Star with a Twitter account, sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to whatever.
You're gonna offer?
No, I don't. I'm going to off Lindsay. I'm going to take her out of her misery.
Okay.
So Amanda's getting the good stuff, Miley's getting the ring, and Lindsay's just
Going diving.
I'm
into a
taking her out.
6-foot deep
I'm taking her
hole.
out like they take 'em out in Walking Dead, just knife through the dome.
Nice.
Yeah,
How about you, Milt?
I will marry Miley
obviously.
and Lindsay. If she's like mean girl, Lindsay, like
No, she's
That-
now.
No,
she's
dude, that
like
Lindsay's not.
cocaine,
Yeah,
like,
that Lindsay's not coming back.
twig.
This
Okay.
is current Lindsay.
I don't even know what Amanda Bynes looks
Amanda
like.
Bynes crazy. She's in like a mental asylum, actually
Right.
getting checked. So I'm gonna have to, yeah, I'll have to agree with you. I'm gonna lay Amanda down, take a dirt nap, and then me and Lindsay can chill for a night.
Wait, I thought D-Mac was sending.
Oh wait, you're giving
you were sending
Amanda a dirt nap.
Amanda. Or no, I mean you were sending Lindsay Lohan to the grave, right?
Obviously,
Yeah. So you and Milt differ there.
Okay, so we swap, we flip flop.
Milt kind of
Okay.
likes the insane asylum.
And
thought
if you
in
don't
the
know,
in the bed. You
no,
want that-
I'm,
you want
I'm,
that
I'm
in-
killing her.
Oh, you're killing her.
Mil, remember that tune? That used to be your joint.
What?
I need some white girl. I'm Lindsay Lohan.
She had a song.
Or was it? And if you don't know, ask Lindsay Lohan.
I know
You
what
don't
song you're
remember that?
talking
Are you
about.
I do
kidding
not
me?
remember that.
Dude, that song was on fire for a while.
I remember. I know the song you're talking about. I know exactly that song. That was such a dumb song.
It's rowdy.
It is rowdy. Any plans for this weekend?
My boy from Jersey, Connor Brown, my Peace Corps buddy, when we were serving down in good old Jamrock, he's coming in town. We're doing foaling.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I feel like-
tell them what's going on
Yeah,
with that.
I feel like the listeners need to know what foaling is. So,
Yeah.
basically, it's the same thing as bags. So you have two people on each side, and instead of tossing bags in the cornhole, you toss a football at 10 bowling pins, and first team to knock them down. You have the two. If you're on the same team, you're on the same side. You're not. It's not like bags where you split up.
Yeah.
So you're trying to knock down all 10s. First one that knocks down all 10 with the football wins, and then, that's what's up. That's a Detroit original. Actually, a guy, Chris Hutt, he went to Losser. He's probably, I think he's like 10 years older than us, and he invented it. And they do it a lot down in Eastern Market. They tailgate down there, but he's got his own warehouse, and he actually had it set up real nice setup. But downstairs they were growing like a mass operation of marijuana illegally,
Ooh.
and they took it down, and they seized his place because it was part of it. He didn't know about it, or he didn't get in trouble, So he's building a new place, but right now this is the interim spot in Eastern Market. So should be interesting. Be a good time. We got about 30 people together, and then rented a bus from the Detroit Bus Company.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got these 5 a.m. shifts this month. I work Thursday, Friday, and Sunday at 5 a.m. So my Saturday nights are a little bit limited now.
At Lifetime.
Yeah, at Lifetime.
Yeah.
But at least now on Sundays, I hadn't been able to sit and watch all of Sunday football at all this season. But now that I get off at 1 o'clock, so I finally am able to sit on my couch, have a couple beers, and watch the good old Lions.
Nice.
Just pretty pumped about it. But I don't have any other plans really this weekend. Plan on going out Friday night and getting a little bit rowdy with some of the boys.
Yes, sir.
But other than that, nothing concrete. Just kind of loose plans.
Saturday, it's our friend Courtney Robinette's birthday is actually today. But Saturday, we will be celebrating either in Ferndale. Might get a little weird at Grasshopper.
There you go.
Always gets weird at Grasshopper.
Or, we might, make the move to the D and
frolic down
cause
yonder.
some trouble around the Motor City, maybe break into Comerica or something.
What?
Jeez.
Nah, just kidding. But that would be like a good story to tell your kids.
What would you do once you broke in?
Just
It's pretty vast.
reminisce about October and how what could have been.
You're gonna try and feel
Take
like
cool Instagram pics, like
Oh,
on the
yeah.
pitching mound, like standing on the rubber.
hashtag Mitch Man Cave.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Oh, Scherzer won the Cy Young. We didn't
He
mention
did.
that. Max
And
Scherzer,
Miguel.
AL Cy Young.
I hope so.
Miguel got MVP, just announced.
Yeah, and
Nice.
Miguel Cabrera just got announced back-to-back MVP.
There you go.
Awesome.
Detroit.
First time since forever. The Yankees did it last. That the past 3 years, the
What,
MVPs came
Same
from the same
time.
team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We've had 3 straight
Verlander,
MVPs, and we've
being
had
it
2
twice.
Cy Youngs in the last 3 years.
So we can't put a. Hopefully this new guy's gonna put a
We need that World Series, dude.
championship together
Awesomeness.
for us.
Bring
Yeah.
it home, Brad. Let's go.
We
Mitch's
believe.
man crush.
Mitch's man crush.
Bless our boys.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I wonder if my mom knows that he's a nice Jewish boy.
Chosen one.
Yeah.
Do you think she'd approve?
Oh, totally.
I heard
Totes.
most boys in your family are expected to marry women.
It's
Wait.
to marry women?
Yeah, like the opposite sex.
Oh yeah, duh.
Oh.
I was just having fun. 'Cause
That's what I
that's your,
thought.
that's your
I was
man
like,
crush, man.
Did you mean to say Jewish women?
No, I just meant women in
Just
general.
women?
Just
But
women.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I don't think any of my brothers are batting for the other team, but Eric, I got my eye on you. you're,
Just because you play ball, Eric,
you're,
don't mean
you're on the gaydar.
we don't got our eyes on you. Just because you got a nice jumper.
Well, Mills always got his eyes on you, Eric.
I got my eyes on you.
Cut.
Milt loves that joint.
Oh yeah.
I do love Drake. I do love Kanye. Go to the Palace December 16th. Support my man Drake. He's making good music. And then, the God, Kanye West, December 19th. Go check him out.
Some
He's
people
a s-
are throwing out rumors that Kanye's actually batting for the other team.
What?
Yeah, 'cause he was on
That's
one
why
of
he's
the
so mad all the time.
he's on one of the late night shows. I forgot which one, Jimmy Fallon or
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel or one of them, and he was talking about his fashion line. And I guess he was sitting up there like, straight back, perfect posture with his hand up in the air,
Yeah.
just like like,
Just-
well, I want my T-shirt to be this expensive because if Gucci's this expensive, and I throw
Yeah,
my name
I
on
saw that. He was on Kimmel. He was
Yeah.
real passionate.
He was just trying to be fabulous.
Man.
it. He is fabulous.
It's
I
not
guess.
easy being fabulous.
His wife's looking fabulous again after
Oh.
after having the baby.
She is.
Donk.
She's back. And she looks better than before.
Yep,
If you check her Instagram. She posted a picture.
it's nice.
And Kanye commented, heading home right now.
Yeah, I
And
probably
you
would
too.
too.
If you saw this.
Yikes.
Not if Ray J beats him there first.
Or Reggie Bush.
Our boy Reggie, although Reggie's wife
what's
is hotter
up?
than Kim and looks just like
I mean,
him.
well, Kim is just old news, man. Good for you, Kanye, 'cause I don't even know what hasn't been through that.
Right.
Kanye's on the same level as Brandon Marshall with me. I mean, he's a great artist, but he's said so much dumb stuff
Yeah.
over the years
He
that I
has.
just can't even take him seriously.
I'm with you, D-Mac.
So,
I miss college dropout era
Yeah.
Kanye. This new
Yeah.
Kanye is kind of whack.
I do miss.
Kanye lives on Mars. He has a condo on Jupiter. He's just out of this world. He thinks I love that South Park episode from him.
Oh, the fish sticks.
Well, yeah, I'm this generation's genius or something like that. Just talking about how brilliant he was. Lyrically gifted, but dude needs to chill.
Out of his mind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Mitch's Man Cave. Thanks for listening in, and you may now exit the Man Cave.